Hey, you want to see something crazy? Check this out. My name's Kane. I live in Australia and I've got a massive Hot Wheels collection. Hoping to share with you all. Hey friends, my name's Kane. I've got a very big collection of Hot Wheels and a few off-brand stuff as well, and I thought I'd make this YouTube channel. We'll call it My Hot Wheels Life because Hot Wheels has just taken over mine, as you can probably see by the room underneath my house. I'm looking to help new collectors, intermediate collectors and also advanced collectors with information, and I'm going to bring you many YouTube videos showcasing my collection. We'll go through different things. I'm first and foremost a variation collector, and I'll be helping everybody as best I can with as much Hot Wheels knowledge as I can, and helping people learn about the hobby. So if you can subscribe down the bottom, I'll be bringing you regular videos and showing all of this, and also helping with as much information as I can as to what to look for in the future. So please subscribe and do me the favour, and hopefully I can help you out and show you some great stuff that you may have never seen before. Anyway, let's get on with it. So look, here in episode 1, I thought what I'd do is quickly go through all of the tiers of Hot Wheels that are released, just so you know what you're looking for, because you know, mainlines can be really great, but there's a whole world of Hot Wheels out there that is a lot more, probably better quality than mainline, and a lot more sought after. And if you want to grow your collection or grow value in your collection, you know, you might not want to just stick with mainlines, because there's a whole world of cars out there. Now, most of you might know this already, but let me just take you through the basic steps of Hot Wheels as they appear. So if you go into your local store, you're probably likely to find a mainline like this. Now, this is a pretty cool Barbie one. If you can see, my little daughter's actually put some texture on that, so I guess she'll be opening it. From just the normal mainlines, you've got mainline sets. So these don't have real rubber wheels, they've only just got the regular plastic wheels. And you know, this is an example of a couple like the road tripping series that was available a few years ago, and maybe the Gran Turismo car, Gran Turismo set, I should say. Also things like Forza, there's, you know, Muppets set out at the moment, and so on and so forth. So then if you're going up to something a little bit more valuable, you've got maybe a store exclusive set like this that only appears in Targets in USA. And then of course you've got the store exclusive mainlines. So something like that might be in Kroger, and you can only pick it up at that store. So that's going to be a little bit more rare and a little bit more sought after and hold a bit more value. So then as well, you've got in Walmart, you've got your Zamac cars, which are the ones without paint basically. Then of course, if you buy enough of those, you can get something like a mail-in car, which has usually got real rubber wheels, and these here you've got to send your card backs in, and then they'll send you one of these cars as a reward. So that's called a mail-in car. Now as well, you've also got in store, you've got premium series. Now the premium series have all got real rubber wheels, and of course have got some pretty good paint jobs too. And just an example of those is something like the Fast and Furious series. So you know, there's a fair few. There's also the pop culture series that have, you know, things like, once again, they've done a Muppets, they do Disney, all sorts of things, but they're probably, you know, a step up. Then of course you've got certain cars that are promo cars, like a few years ago, Jiffy Lube. You could get a dairy. There's a whole bunch of Jiffy Lube cars out there, but sort of they're promotional cars, so that's up there in the tiers as well. Once you start moving from store purchases, you move up to something like the Redline Club, and on HotWheelsCollectors.com you've got a club that memberships come up each year, and they release cars that you have to be fast to get, and things like the famous Candy Gasser, and also the Redline Club Brie 510. So these cars you usually pay somewhere around $25 to $30 each for, and they grow in value exponentially. So I mean, I think this is doing somewhere around $2,000, and I heard the other day $1,200 to $1,500 for one of these. And if you think, pretty good investment if you've only paid $25 for one. But as you're saying, these are getting a little bit older now, so you know, with age comes a bit of a growth in value. So, and of course if they're sought after, that makes them even more valuable. So anyway, then you've got convention cars. Now, you know, I was fortunate enough to have been to a few conventions now, and this one here, the Datsun 510, I was actually at that convention and picked up a couple of these, fortunately, because they've gone crazy in value now. But convention cars have real rubber wheels, good detail, and they've also got numbers on the back. So they're very limited editions, the same as the Redline Club releases. These ones I showed you before, they've got numbers on the back too, and always limited production. So anything that comes limited is going to be worth something in the future. So it's not why I collect. I collect because I like cars, and I'd encourage you to do the same thing, or else you'll just burn out over the years. I've been collecting for 23 years, and I can only see me going just as strong for the next 23. Anyway, the next thing the next tier you go up to is probably something like a Toy Fair car. Now, I was fortunate to win one of these because I could never afford to pay for it. So this is one beautiful car. This is the Porsche, and probably one of my favourite cars. So I'm hoping that's in focus for you. So please excuse me, I'm a bit green when it comes to YouTube videos and filming and stuff like that. I just do the best I can, and probably by about number 10 or maybe 100 I might be polished. Anyway, that's worth a mint. Next thing is probably employee cars. So this is an MEA. That's an MEA dinner dance car. So the MEA stands for Mattel Employee Association. And that car is very rare. Most of these are limited to, you know, under 500 units, so that's what makes them so rare. Anyway, let's move on to probably the next thing is prototypes. So prototypes, I don't have any loose prototypes. It's not the type of thing I collect, but you know, make sure that they're sort of certified, because anyone can just pull some pieces from the factory and tell you they're a prototype, and it's not really a prototype, because a prototype is something that has to sit in approval. That's why they make a prototype to get approval along the different stages of production. So this one's one of the final production prototypes. So this, in its packaging, this is a Mustang I picked up. And if you can see the sticker on there, it's got all of the nature of what this prototype is. And of course, I was fortunate enough too to pick up this this Color Shifters 67 Camaro a few years ago too. And hopefully you can see on the top of that there is a stamp with the production code on the top of that, so making that a prototype. So look, they're probably the basic tiers of collecting, from the simple to the more expensive. So hopefully that gives you an idea with your collecting where you want to go. You know, you can stick with main lines, and that's good, and I encourage anyone just to do whatever makes them happy. But there are extra stuff out there that's pretty unique and pretty limited, that's, you know, worth a fair bit of coin. And if you wanted to go down that road, it's a deep hole, I do warn you, because your finances are going to cop a bit of a hit. But it's really good stuff to have displayed in your collection, because it gives you that wow factor. So anyway, what I might do is I might give you a bit of a tour of where I'm at. You should see a simple tour of my collection previously on YouTube, but this one I might actually give you a bit of a chat and tell you what everything is in the room, and that will give you a bit more of an understanding of where we're going to go in future videos and what we're actually going to be looking at. So let's do this. Okay, this is the garage. Now this is just somewhere I use to store all my spare cars, and of course, you know, my collection is pretty big, so I try and display a few in here because this is where I do all my sorting, and it's nice to be surrounded with cars. So it takes up a lot of room having 50,000 cars, but as I say, I'm just your average Joe who's just been collecting for years and years and years and years, and this is where I've got. So anyway, let's do this tour, and I'll show you what we're going to be looking at in the future. So what we have here is my favourite Mopars on display. This will just be a quick tour. I've got a fair few Zamacs. Other Zamacs are in with their castings. VW Bugs. If we swing around, excuse the mess here, but we've got a lot of stuff in storage. I've got all of the mainline series of Fast and Furious. Sorry about the light. I've also got boards of Mercedes and Euros. A lot of stuff in storage here. Of course, I've got things like Cobras and GT40s, Jaguars. Then these are store exclusives. These are Toys R Us, Walmart, got some Moon Eyes in there, and then K-Day cars all the way up here to the Target Reds. And then of course I've got a lot of my lowrider stuff, Impalas, etc. A fair few hot rods there, and of course this is one of my storage rooms with a lot of stuff basically clearly labelled so I can actually find it. Okay, so that was the garage. What I'll do now is I'll take you in through my room and show you specifically the rest of my collection that's displayed in my showroom. Alright, so let's just pan out first, and I can give you an idea. I guess photos don't really do it justice because there's a fair bit of depth here that you can't capture with just a quick once over. So anyway, let's do this as quick as I can so it doesn't take all day. Johnny Lightning. So I've got an old jewellery cabinet here with a lot of my loose Johnny Lightnings in it. So yeah, Mopar down the bottom, Chev at the top, and everything else in between. Then we go on to multi-packs. I've got a lot of variations in there that only appear in multi-packs. Then of course Tomica. We've got Tomica Premium. Also got a lot of JDM loose stuff here that's from multi-packs or special editions. I've got the old Redline Club cars in the baggies, and also a lot of convention prize baggies, etc. And then of course this wall here, Beach Bombs, Camaros 67 to 69. And then I'll just pull back here, and this is my convention and Redline Club car wall. So excuse the light stuck in the middle of it, but you know, we've got all the usual suspects here, all of the stuff that gets the heart racing. Now I made these things here. These are my from a rug rack. So I've got all my JDMs here, just giving it a quick sweep, and then of course it's like a book, so I can open up and maximize the little wall space I have there that can hold hundreds of cars. So here we've got Toyotas, Nissans, we've got Mazda, we've got Honda, we've got Bone Shakers, we've got more Honda here, we've got Anglia, we've got Mustangs, and Acura as well. And then of course here we go, we've got some of the Australian cars, the VN Commodore, the VT, the XB, we've got the Escort, and then of course we've got Chevs here as well as Thunderbolts, Chevelles, Impalas. Let me just try and squeeze through this quickly or else it'll take too long. As I say, subscribe and I'll be going through these in finer detail at another point. Of course 67 Camaros, we've got other Z28s, we've got 53 to 57 Chevs and the 62 trucks. We've got BMWs, we've got Minis, we've got Redlines in their packets, we've got 80s carded Hot Wheels, we've got park and plates, we've got garage sets, we've got My premiums that are current are on this rack here, and then of course on this Hot Wheels rack here I've got my 2021s that I start collecting, and they get thrown in a box when I've got the year complete. So I've just completed my 2020s. Okay, these are hot property. Revel lowriders, posable bases, absolutely gorgeous cars. I'll get to them another episode. I've got old blue cards here. I've got decade sets. I've got garage sets. We've also got some of the special editions, and also a few supers that I can't fit up on my super wall that's there. So I'll try not to sweep this around too much, but here we go, following it around more. I've got green light chasers and M2 chasers. We've got, let's squeeze in here, right, speed machines, special editions with chasers. We've got the complete garage series, more special editions. Then I've got Ferraris forever. Ferraris, I'm a bit of a Ferrari fan, a bit of a Euro fan. I've got Lamborghini over here as well, and I'll just try and sweep through a few of these. I've got variations of Lamborghinis that are quite hard to find. Then of course I've got Porsche in this corner as well. Now let me sweep back slowly. Right, Star Wars variations, green light chasers, Bugattis, club cars. We've got variations. We've got old JDMs. We've got, sweeping around the room slowly, we've got box sets. Okay, and then of course we've got more Real Rider sets here, and of course transporters I've got on the end caps, garage series, lots of Walmart series. We've got of course lots of other series here. All the cars behind there are all different. Of course I've got the Jap Historics with all of the variations. And then of course, if you notice around the floor here, around the entire room, is every black box except for two that I'm chasing. So when I say black box, I'm meaning those type there. So if we go down here to this lockable cabinet, I've got some 80s and 70s carded Hot Wheels. And then of course, this is my big cabinet. Let's get rid of the reflection. If you're in the know, you'll know that a few of these cars are worth a lot and are very rare. I'm trying to get too much glare, but this cabinet is exceptional. So I'll be going through all of these and giving you close-ups and telling you stories and teaching you all about what I know, or basically just sharing the information I've picked up over the years. So about where these came from, the stories behind them. You see that I've got the box sets behind there, including Batman and all the lowrider sets. And then of course, let's shut this cabinet. And I've got probably around 200 no tempo errors, and I've only got a fraction of them displayed. So if you are not familiar with the terms, no tempo means no stickers on the side or no decals. So a lot of cars look pretty sharp without tempos on the side. So I must thank many of my collector friends for looking out for me for some of these and sending them my way. So I've also got some pretty good variations of, if you know what you're looking at, there's some pretty good cars here, wheel variations, etc. I've got both my grille variations of the Super signed by Junimai, plus there's more here. So here's my Super wall. I've got some Supers that aren't there in box sets, that aren't even on display, but here's every treasure hunt ever made since 1995, except for the elusive 67 Camaro that has its spot reserved. So sweeping along here, we've got revealers, ID cars, just loose, miscellaneous. I also open my go-karts, and then of course this is my favourite wall here. This is my variation wall. So there's only probably a couple of people in the world who'd be able to walk in and tell you what all of these variations are, because some of these are ultra rare. Some of them not so much, but if you know what you're looking at now, you might know exactly how rare some of these cars are. So from here, my variation wall, if I just swing out around the desk so I don't fall over, we've got VW drag buses, and I've got quite an extensive collection. Not the best, of course. There's a lot of people who've got better drag bus collections than me, but I'm doing all right. And then of course European short cards. These are fun to chase because they are so rare and there's very limited records. So I'll give you another sweep of the room just to show you what you've just been looking at in close. Okay friends, well that was the real quick tour. So what I'll be doing is I'll be going through specific stuff in the coming weeks, showing you different elements of my collection. I'll be telling you what to look for in store. I'll be telling you what to look for at things like garage sales, and even on eBay sometimes you can find some absolute bargains because no one's looking for a certain variation. So I hope you found some of the information that I've shared with you early on in this video. I hope you found it helpful if you're a new collector. Now I'm going to be going through this whole room showing you all the sets, all the series. I'm going to be showing you probably a few Tomicas and stuff as well. And I'm hoping that I can share as much of the knowledge that I've picked up over the years to all of you and help you get the best cars for your collection. So thank you for sharing this time with me. Please subscribe because I'm going to have more videos coming at you where I'm going to be sharing a lot more. So you don't want to miss it. Tell your friends about it. Add them to my variation page on Facebook, the Australian Hot Wheels variation page. If you're in Australia, I've got a sales page called Fast and Furious Hot Wheels Sales. And as well, the guy who got me onto YouTube was a guy named Luke Fink and his Mrs. Tiana. And so look him up on YouTube too because he's a drifter, a damn good one. And you know, he deserves a bit of the accolades for getting me into YouTube. So they're the ones who encouraged me. So anyway, thanks guys. Until next episode 2 coming at you. And I'll be looking at a few variations and a few other things like treasure hunts and supers and telling you all about them. So cheers guys. See ya.